Labour have set a target of 1.5 million new homes over 5 years. We're reading to this more from The Guardian, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that Labour set a target of 1.5 million new homes over 5 years. 1.5 million new homes in 5 years. That's a big target. It's a big, bold target from Labour. Keir Starmer says Labour will challenge planning laws and review rules on building on the Green Belt. Ooh, not sure about that. Let's read into it, guys. So Keir Starmer says that the UK must get real about where we're going to build and to solve the housing crisis, as Labour pledged to review rules about building on the Green Belt. Speaking on BBC One Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg at the start of Labour's annual conference in Liverpool, Starmer said that his party would set a target of 1.5 million new homes over 5 years that would strengthen guidance to ensure developers including sufficient affordable housing. He contrasts his approach with Rishi Sunak's decision last year to scrap national house building targets following pressure from Conservative MPs. We're putting the target back up to get building happening. We have to challenge the planning laws. We have to get real about where we're going to build, and we have to work with developers to get it there at speed, Starmer said. This can be done, but it will never be done by a government that simply takes down targets because the Prime Minister is too weak to stand up to his own party. While I agree that Rishi Sunak and the Conservatives are very weak, and they have a weak Prime Minister, my optics right now is like, okay, you set yourself a really big target here, so is this all going to be on private companies to build these houses? Like, how much subsidy is the government going to do, and the incentives are going to be put forward to ensure them, like the materials as well that's going to be required to build them in 5 years? It's such a mammoth task, and I am just a little bit concerned about the wildlife. How much green is going to go away after be decimated in order to meet this target? That does worry me a little bit. So while the Labour leader was not explicit about changing to where building could happen, it follows comments by Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor, who said Labour would speed up planning by reviewing rules about construction on the Green Belt land. Our brownfield first approach is right, she said in an interview with the Sunday Times, but we also need to have a common sense approach where we need to look at again at what's designated Green Belt and brownfield. Okay, well, I'm the brownfield first approach is right. I'm totally in agreement with that. But we need to look at, obviously, people with second, third, fourth homes as well, and I think that needs to be looked into as well. There's a lot of homes in the UK that we have that simply sit there empty and not used at all, and that should be put into question as well. So I think that also needs to be taken into consideration. Yes, of course, we need to build new homes. We absolutely need to have a plan. They need to have a plan to do that. But should it be at the expense of Greenbelt? Can it not be done? If it's not, can we not build higher? Because I would rather we build higher than build more out on land. I mean, I know those kind of buildings that we have in around London, those kind of apartment buildings, they're not exactly the best, how can I say, the best homes, shall we say. But a home is still a home at the end of the day, and people need them, that is for sure. And they need to be affordable. So I'm hoping that this ambitious target that they are setting themselves, cross fingers they keep to it, does help drive down some of the prices on housing and rent, because we do definitely need more homes for sure. Reeves, who will make her speech at a Labour conference on Monday, that's today by the time you read this, watch this, the paper that the planning process could be speeded up by giving local people benefits when house building took place in their area, for example, new schools and health infrastructure. There will be no wholesale building on the Green Belt, she said. Okay, we're not talking about turning the beautiful countryside into house and developments. Okay, you say that. What we're talking about here is a common sense approach where local authorities and local people can go ahead with development on areas that are ripe for development while still protecting our natural environment. As long as we're protecting natural environment, then I have no problem with that. That says the right things, but yeah, I am obviously want to make sure that we don't take away greenbelt. We need greenbelt. It's very, very important for our wildlife, for nature. It's a vital. We want to make sure we look after that. So she's saying the right things here, but I mean, we don't want to paint Labour and the Conservatives together, but unfortunately, a lot of people have painted them as red Tories because they have U-turned on things. But yeah, I think as long as they're not going on the green belt, at least not touching that, I think it's an ambitious target, I will say. On affordable and social housing, Starmer said that a Labour government would work with local authorities who are the drivers of social housing and ensure they had sufficient powers to guarantee developers deliver the promised number of social rent and affordable homes in what they built. What happens in practice is that developers say it is viable to build a certain number of affordable homes when they seek the permission in the first place, and then later on that circumstances have changed and no longer viable. We need to strengthen the guidance, strengthen the framework to ensure that doesn't happen. Yeah, I think that definitely needs to be looked into. Starmer also vowed to scrap plans to forcibly remove asylum seekers to Rwanda, even if the policy was deemed legal by the courts, and such action reduces the number of unauthorised channel crossings. Totally in agreement. Waste of time, waste of taxpayers' money. He said it was clear that he would reverse the hugely expensive or wrong scheme, and said it would only ever affect a small proportion of migrants crossing the channel. The Supreme Court will on Monday begin hearing the government's appeal against the ruling that the policy is unlawful, as ministers struggled to achieve Rishi Sunak's pledge to stop the boats. Elsewhere in the BBC interview, Starmer refused 3 times to say whether he would be able to spend any more money on public service than the Conservatives if there was not economic growth, saying only "I'm confident we can get the growth." I think he just wants to. He's just keeping his cards close to his chest. We've talked about this before. I have been critical of Labour in the past, and rightfully so. But in this instance, he's keeping his cards to his close. But he needs to give something, and he's giving something here. And obviously, over this conference, more will be given out. And the question is how the Conservatives and the right-wing media respond to it, because they will try to respond to it. Starmer says resurgence in growth could begin very quickly, arguing that businesses were wary of investing amid the turmoil of Sunak's government. We think that this can happen very quickly. Within months of Labour government, we can turn this around and get the investment that we need, he said. What businesses say to me is that they need stability. There is plenty of investors who are absolutely clear in their discussions with me. They said we will invest in the UK if the circumstances are right, but at the moment, because of this government, with all the chopping and changing and chaos, they're holding off for investment. We have to create the conditions of growth in this country. The other thing as well is that obviously with but that's saying all the right things there, but I'm still concerned about the green belt. It is a huge target that they've set for themselves, Labour, and I'd like to 1.5 million new homes is a huge target in 5 years. Can it be done is the question. With the right investment, with the right people coming in, yeah, I think it can be done, but as of right now, there's no confidence of people wanting to invest in the United Kingdom, especially with a government that literally just did a U-turn on the high-speed rail, HS2. So the confidence is completely shattered right now. So Labour have got to show that they are not prepared to do U-turns and anything like that. They've got to show that they are, once they've set a target and they are committed to it and not going to do. They have to earn the trust of not just the British public. They're going to have to earn the trust of businesses. They've got to earn the trust of investors. They really got to show that if they're serious about something, they really need to work hard to prove that to people. So we'll have to wait and see, guys. Obviously, how things go. But what do you guys think of this target? 1.5 million new homes over 5 years. Can it be done? Is it achievable, guys? Let me know down in the comments section below. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.